is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. All right, so this is the situation we have right here for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have the latest run of the GFS pulled up to show you what we're looking at in the Atlantic Ocean right now. So we're going to go ahead and show you what's going on. We're going to go ahead and start around 5 days out. And what we're looking at is a potential East Pacific situation right here where we have a tropical storm that strengthens into a hurricane in the Eastern Pacific. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that, the Western Atlantic. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that. So basically, as you can see right here, this starts off as a tropical wave, tropical depression, moves into a tropical storm, and then starts developing potentially into a hurricane once it gets down to 7 a.m. on the 18th. We have this system over here that is developing pretty much by Nicaragua right here, and the GFS now has us going into Central America and potentially into the Eastern Pacific Ocean, and then hitting southern Mexico right over there. So that's the latest what we got over there. The GFS runs of a hurricane hitting the United States. Well, they're still there. They're just 300 hours out, and they're quite unrealistic at this time. So this is what we got right here. This thing is just rapidly intensifying, strengthening right here. It gets down to 959 millibars over here. So I want to go ahead and show you guys this real quickly because these waters are the warmest I've ever seen this early in the hurricane season. We have a huge swath of 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degree Fahrenheit waters from Colombia all the way to Honduras, again off the coast of Belize, part of Gulf of Mexico right here. And if we go ahead to go to the Gulf of Mexico, take a look at this, 29 degrees in the Gulf Stream right here. 29 degrees, and it's also somewhat like that off the coast of Louisiana over there. So these waters are piping hot, and they are primed for hurricane development. In the Atlantic Ocean, OHC is continuing to increase. We're now cracking 100 in the Gulf of Mexico over here by the Gulf Stream, and we're over 150 in in the Caribbean over here. And I expect that to only continue to increase as the months continue to drag on. If we take a look at the wind shear going into this, it's not pretty at all. The main development region, basically from South America all the way to the Lesser Antilles, has not as good shear, but everywhere else is just volatile right now. And we're going to go ahead and get into that right now. We're going to go ahead and show you the GFS ensembles right here back to June 11th, because that actually goes out to over a month away. And we're going to go ahead and show you the shear as this goes into the North Atlantic Ocean right here as we go on. So if we go ahead and take a look at the 250 to 850 millibar wind shear right here, not very pretty right here. It becomes even more volatile in the main development region in the next 4 days. It does start to weaken off a little bit over here at the southern part of it, and then by 9 days out, the Gulf starts weakening even more. And the shear generally across this area right here is roughly anywhere from like 25 knots over here to like 30, 35 across the Caribbean Sea, and that continues to weaken right there. The Bermuda High is starting to set up in the Atlantic Ocean over there, and this is a typical setup for June. It's starting to push further and further north, and that's going to continue as the months drag on. But anyway, if we continue to go on, we're at 15 days out. There's pretty much no shear in the Gulf of Mexico for a little bit. It's still fluctuating here and there as time continues to go on, but by the time we get out to July, though, the wind shear does start to weaken considerably from what I have looked at right here. And how considerable? Well, things start to really die down by July 10th, according to this latest run of the Ensemble run. And pretty much all the main development region would be primed for development if this was the case. If a storm gets its act together, I want to go ahead and take a look at the dry air at this aspect real quickly, see if it's drier or not. So that's what we're looking at right here. Okay, just give me one second. This is the moisture that we got going into this. And yeah, we're looking at a more moist than average thing going on right here as the time continues to go on. Going out 16 days, I'm going to go ahead and show you that because right now it's mid-June, system's volatile, but we are starting to see some improvements going into mid to late June right here. We're starting to see more moist air in the Caribbean Sea. We still have that Sahara dust coming off right here, but overall, this does start to fizzle out and start moistening up quite a bit across the Caribbean Sea, across the Western Main Development Region, all that area right there. So that's what we are looking at right here. Conditions are continuing to improve. And one last thing I want to go ahead and take a look at is, if we go back to the ensemble runs, I want to go ahead and take a look at the wind shear anomalies right here, because I find these kind of interesting. I want to go ahead and go to this right here. And for the most part, what I am noticing going into, because right now it's extremely volatile, but what I'm noticing going into late June into July, the shear starts to become more around average or so, which I think is kind of interesting. If we're looking at a system like this, we could definitely see a more active hurricane season than we have before. Right here, and this is going to play key right here. This is July 15th, so keep that in mind, but that's what I'm taking a look at. We're looking at lower than average shear basically for basically a month from now, and even a few weeks from now, like 15 days out, we're starting to see that in the main development region. So definitely an interesting scenario going on with this. So yeah, what I'm thinking we're gonna see here, and this is really far out. What I'm thinking is looking at all the data I am looking at, we might be in for a more active hurricane season than we were anticipating. Based off of what I've seen, the waters are piping hot right now. The shear is starting to decrease, and we're looking at below average after June, and the moistening of the Atlantic is going to start, especially in the Caribbean and Western Main Development Region. So if anything can pop off while that's going on, we'll have to see what's going on from there. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Helps us out, helps us make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.